Another day, another banger. Today, we're diving into Russian Doll, where a woman dies on her birthday, wakes up, and has to relive the same day over and over. It's a wild ride full of twists and surprises. So, sit back, relax, and let's get into it. The episode 1 opens with Nadia celebrating her 36th birthday at a party hosted by her friend Maxine in New York. While at the bathroom, which has a distinctive blue crystal decoration and a gun-shaped door handle, Nadia isn't feeling particularly happy about her birthday. This birthday is especially significant because Nadia's mother passed away at age 35. During the party, Nadia decides to leave with a man named Mike, who is a professor. She goes looking for a cat named Oatmeal, who lives at the local deli. While searching for Oatmeal on the street, Nadia gets hit by a taxi and dies. However, instead of staying dead, she immediately finds herself back in Maxine's bathroom at her birthday party, at the exact same moment as before. Confused and thinking she might be on drugs, Nadia goes through the party again. This time, she talks to Maxine about feeling empty inside and wonders if there's something special about the bathroom where she keeps returning. During this loop, we meet two important people in Nadia's life, John, her ex-boyfriend, and Ruth, her guardian. This second time through ends differently. After arguing with John, who wants to get back together with her, Nadia goes out looking for Oatmeal again. She finds the cat and walks to a pier near the Hudson River. While holding Oatmeal, something strange happens, the cat vanishes, and Nadia falls into the river as if pushed by something unseen. Once again, Nadia returns to the bathroom at her birthday party, now realizing something bizarre is definitely happening to her. She becomes angry, shouting at the sky that she won't play along with whatever the universe is doing to her, especially upset about her cat disappearing. During this third loop at the party, Maxine gets frustrated with Nadia's behavior and calls her a cockroach, saying she can never be destroyed. As Nadia tries to leave the party, she almost falls down the stairs, but Mike catches her and saves her life. This isn't the first time someone has prevented her death. Earlier, John had stopped her from walking into traffic. The episode ends with Nadia leaving the party again, now convinced that drugs must be causing these strange repeating events. Throughout all these loops, she continues returning to the same moment in the bathroom, where her 36th birthday party keeps starting over every time she dies. In each loop, Nadia experiences the same party but makes different choices, leading to different deaths. She meets the same people, Maxine, who's dressed in artistic clothing with blue eyeshadow and wants to throw the perfect party, Lizzie, who's dating someone much younger and wears overalls, Mike, the professor she leaves with, John, her ex-boyfriend who still has feelings for her, and Ruth, her guardian who looks out for her. Each time Nadia dies, she returns to the exact same moment in the bathroom at Maxine's apartment, where her birthday party is in full swing. The bathroom becomes a significant location as it's where she continuously restarts. She begins to notice patterns in each loop, like how certain people can prevent her deaths and how events slightly change based on her different choices. Nadia's search for Oatmeal the cat becomes a recurring element in her loops, leading her to different deaths each time. The first death is by taxi while looking for the cat, and another death occurs at the pier when she actually finds Oatmeal. Each time she returns to the party, she becomes more aware that something unusual is happening to her, but she can't figure out what's causing it or how to stop it. The episode establishes the main conflict. Nadia is stuck in a time loop on her 36th birthday, dying repeatedly and returning to the same moment at her party. Each loop shows her trying to understand what's happening to her, whether it's drugs, something supernatural, or something else entirely. Despite her different attempts to change her fate, leaving the party with Mike, arguing with John, searching for Oatmeal, she keeps dying and returning to the same starting point in Maxine's bathroom. By the end of the episode, Nadia's frustration with the situation grows, but she's no closer to understanding why she keeps reliving her birthday party or how to break free from this cycle of death and rebirth. Each loop reveals new details about what's happening to her, but also raises more questions about why she's trapped in this repeating sequence of events. The episode 2 opens with Nadia having survived her first night. After making a raw egg hangover drink at home, she receives an apology call from Maxine about her behavior at the party. Maxine explains that cooking brings her joy but alters her personality. Nadia then attends a computer programming meeting at work, where one of the programmers, who she previously saw as a Wall Street broker, points out a bug in the code. She fixes it quickly, explaining it wasn't her bug anyway, and leaves the meeting early. Thinking drugs might be causing her situation, Nadia tries to contact War Dog, Maxine's drug dealer, to ask about the cocaine in the Israeli cigarette she smoked. She's determined to figure out if the drugs are causing her deaths. While on the phone with her ex John, she's not paying attention to where she's walking and falls through a basement grate, dying and starting her third loop. Back at the party, Nadia immediately pushes past everyone and leaves to find War Dog. When she locates his doctor friend, they have a conversation about the drugs, but the doctor can't provide any explanation for what's happening to her. During this loop, she notices a cigarette burn from her previous loop has completely vanished, realizing her body resets entirely with each death. While processing this information, she spots Ferran and his troubled friend, who had previously destroyed an entire all in Ferran's deli, stumbling toward a bar. Concerned, she runs to help them but falls through another basement grate and dies. In the fourth loop, Nadia storms straight to Maxine and confronts her about the ketamine and the cigarettes. Lizzie observes the scene, commenting that she's gotten mixed up in something very nice. As Nadia leaves angrily, she loses her balance and falls down the stairs to her death. The fifth loop begins with Nadia even more furious. She immediately confronts Maxine, demanding, "Why are you doing this to me?" She notices the same faces from previous loops appearing in different roles around her. Before she can investigate further, she falls down the same stairs again. During the sixth loop, she gets into another heated argument with Maxine about the party and the cigarettes. As she turns to leave, she falls down the stairs again, yelling out that she feels like Michael Douglas in a game. The same group of people who were Wall Street workers earlier now appear as party guests, watching her fall. In the seventh loop, Nadia tries a new approach to the stairs. She carefully begins her descent, shouting, "Stay the fuck away from me. I'm coming down the stairs." Despite her caution and warnings to others, she still falls to her death. For the eighth loop, Nadia completely changes her strategy and decides to stay at the party. She spends the night carefully drinking wine and smoking, avoiding the stairs entirely. She successfully makes it through the night by falling asleep on a couch. The next morning, worried about inheriting her mother's mental illness, she visits her guardian Ruth. In Ruth's living room, she explains everything that's been happening. Ruth listens carefully before suggesting Bellevue Psychiatric Hospital as an option. When Nadia asks if it's the nicest psych ward, Ruth just emphasizes it's definitely the closest. Agreeing to seek help, Nadia gets into an ambulance headed for Bellevue. The same group of people who appeared in her previous loops are now the medics in the ambulance. Their reckless driving causes a serious accident, killing her and starting her ninth loop. In this final loop of the episode, Nadia decides to completely change her approach and embrace the chaos of her situation. Instead of fighting against it, she fully participates in her party, exclaiming excitedly, "It's never gonna be Thursday again." Her enthusiasm makes Maxine genuinely happy to see her finally enjoying herself. During this more relaxed loop, she has a conversation with John about their breakup, telling him to start dating other people since it's been 6 months. John defensively responds that he does fuck a lot of people. Just as Nadia seems to be finding some peace with her situation, the episode ends with John's unexpected arrival at the party, suggesting more complications in her time loop journey. The episode 3 opens with Nadia waking up on Maxine's couch, finding a champagne cage tangled in her hair. As a video game programmer, she starts thinking about her situation like a code problem. She needs to find the bug in the pattern. Having experienced multiple deaths and resets, she decides to investigate the history of Maxine's apartment building, which used to be a yeshiva school. Unable to translate the Hebrew writing on the door of Maxine's building, Nadia visits the synagogue that previously owned the school. There, she meets a secretary, played by Tammy Sager, who refuses to let her speak to the rabbi without having a husband present. This situation forces Nadia to call her ex-boyfriend John, a mopey real estate agent, for help. John agrees to pretend to be Nadia's husband. During their visit with the rabbi, John nervously announces, "Just so you know, I'm not Jewish, but I am circumcised." While Nadia doesn't get the answers she's looking for about her time loop, the rabbi shares some wisdom with John. Mysticism teaches us that there is wisdom inaccessible to the intellect. You can only reach it through surrender. During their conversation, it's revealed that John left his wife to be with Nadia, and now he needs Nadia's approval to move forward with his life. After the synagogue visit, Nadia and John spend time together at his apartment, showing glimpses of their past relationship. When John states, "This is your apartment," Nadia sarcastically responds, "Wow, you really are in real estate." She teases him about looking like Columbo, remarking, "Well, no one's mad at Peter Falk." She also makes a crude joke about giving their interaction a fun transactional quality. However, their evening ends in an argument. Following their fight, Nadia rushes into the night, which usually leads to her death in these loops. She meets Horse, played by Brendan Sexton III, a homeless man she had noticed in earlier loops. Horse gives her a haircut, and they spend time together. Nadia falls asleep next to her hairstylist/new friend in the cold and freezes to death, starting her 10th loop. In this new loop, Nadia becomes immediately confident, navigating with ease. She leaves her birthday party right away, telling Maxine she has something important to do. She remembers that someone had stolen Horse's shoes the night of her party, and she's determined to prevent this from happening. She finds Horse and spends the night at a homeless shelter with him, watching over his shoes to ensure they aren't stolen. The next morning, Nadia sees a reminder about her upcoming code review, the same one she attended in episode 1. When questioned about her behavior, she deflects with humor, saying, "I did not kill somebody. If I killed somebody, I'd do something cool, like move to Mexico and start a band." She decides to go to her office building, where she encounters something unexpected, a tall stranger carrying a ring box who, she realizes, is also caught in a death loop like her. Throughout this episode, Nadia starts developing rules for herself about her situation. She discovers that doing kind deeds seems to keep her alive longer in each loop. She also decides it's better not to tell people about what's happening to her, explaining to John that "I can't tell you. There are too many moving parts." The episode ends with this pivotal discovery of another person experiencing the same phenomenon, completely changing Nadia's understanding of her situation and revealing that the logic board of her predicament is more complex than she initially thought. Unlike previous episodes with multiple deaths, this episode only contains 2 strategic loops. The first ends with Nadia freezing to death beside Horse, and the second shows her actively trying to prevent Horse's shoes from being stolen, demonstrating that she's learning from each loop and becoming more focused on helping others rather than just solving her own problem. The episode 4 opens by shifting perspective to Alan, who appears in Nadia's 10th loop. The scene begins as Alan furiously walks past Nadia in Tompkins Square Park while she's searching for the homeless shelter. We see Alan's daily routine. He has a perfectly ordered life, listens to daily affirmations saying "I am loved and deserve love. I am in control," and maintains a neat apartment where he keeps his pet fish named Boba Fett. He arranges for his neighbor, played by Myra Rai Satole, to watch the fish, and when she questions if he might be a murderer, Nadia, who's present, responds with "my sparkling personality." Alan is preparing to propose to his girlfriend Beatrice, played by Dasha Polanco. However, when he attempts to propose, Beatrice instead breaks up with him. This moment becomes the starting point of Alan's own time loop, similar to how Nadia's birthday party is hers. After meeting Nadia and beginning a new loop, Alan discovers something devastating. Beatrice has been having an affair with her CUNY professor Mike, the same professor who had a one-night stand with Nadia in the first episode. Upon learning this, Alan whispers, "This wasn't supposed to happen." During this loop, Alan also has a conversation with Ferran, who tells him directly, no one can do anything alone. Alan also interacts with his mother, played by Lilias White, though he doesn't tell her the truth about his situation. When Nadia and Alan have their first real meeting, it doesn't go well. Alan becomes angry at Nadia for interfering with his loop. She tries to suggest theories about why they're both dying, wondering if they're the same person or if they're in some kind of romantic comedy situation. During a discussion with Beatrice, she mentions for the millionth time, it's Updike and the suburban imaginary. This happens before Alan, enraged by the revelation of her affair, goes to CUNY to confront Professor Mike. At the university, Alan attempts to fight Mike, managing only to yell "You are an asshole," before the confrontation ends badly. The episode culminates with Alan's death by electrocution from a street lamp in a puddle of water. When he awakens in his 12th loop, he discovers his fish, Boba Fett, is missing from the apartment. Throughout the episode, we learn that unlike Nadia, who has been frantically trying to solve the mystery of the loops, Alan has been using them as a way to perfect his routine and try to fix his relationship with Beatrice. He sees the loops as a chance to keep trying to make things right, even though each attempt ends in his death. The episode shows how differently Alan and Nadia approach their shared situation. While Nadia wants to break free from her loop, Alan finds comfort in the predictability of his. However, after discovering Beatrice's affair with Professor Mike, his carefully maintained control begins to unravel. Nadia, upon realizing there's someone else experiencing the same phenomenon, decides her next goal will be to find Alan in subsequent loops. She sees this as a strategic move, believing that comparing their experiences might help them understand what's happening to them. Another character named Liana appears briefly in the episode, saying, "Oh, come on. You're fucking with me. I mean, people love to fuck with me." This interaction adds to the growing web of connections between the characters trapped in these loops. The episode ends with this latest reset, loop number 12, and the mysterious disappearance of Alan's fish, suggesting that the loops are beginning to affect their worlds in new ways. This marks a significant shift in both Alan's story and his intersection with Nadia's ongoing timeline. Throughout all these events, Alan maintains his methodical approach to life, even as it begins to crumble around him. His structured routine and careful planning stand in stark contrast to Nadia's chaotic approach to their shared predicament, but both find themselves equally unable to prevent their repeated deaths. The episode 5 opens with Nadia and Alan discussing their situation, making comparisons to Schrödinger's cat equation. Nadia has a realization and points out to Alan, what if they keep going? Suggesting that their loops aren't just repeating timelines but different universes they're jumping between. Like a video game, they're using up lives trying to get the equation right. Alan, being the insecure perfectionist, believes they're stuck in these loops due to bad karma and that it's all about morality. To test this theory, Nadia conducts an impromptu poll at her party, asking everyone if they think she's a bad person. During this questioning, Maxine responds with a snipe, "I love that you're a cunt. It makes me feel morally superior," effectively summarizing Nadia's character thus far. After the poll disproves Alan's theory that they're in some kind of moral test, like The Good Place, Nadia and Alan separate to pursue different paths. Nadia encounters John at her party again, leading to a knowing exchange. When he says it's been a while, she responds with understanding, "I guess, for you, it has, huh?" Nadia decides to fix her fractured relationship with John by finally meeting his daughter. Although John's cheating on his wife wasn't Nadia's fault, she acknowledges her mistake in never meeting his daughter. She plans to give the girl a book called Emily of New Moon.
But I like Emily.
Meanwhile, Alan's mission becomes darker as he focuses on ruining Mike's night. He watches Mike picking up women at the party, plotting his revenge against the professor who had an affair with Beatrice. Their separate missions end abruptly, Nadia in a bike accident and Alan in a gas explosion, starting loop number 13. In this new loop, Nadia immediately leaves the party, desperate to fetch the book for John's daughter. Alan has another confrontation with Mike, delivering a scathing tirade, "You are fucking garbage and someone needs to bag you up and take you outside, throw you into the East River, and put everyone who can smell your fucking stench out of their goddamn misery." Loop number 14 begins after both die again, Alan from an allergic reaction to pepper spray, administered by comedian Michelle Buteau, and Nadia from being shot by Ruth, who mistakes her for an intruder.
I thought it was a burglar. They've been saying this.
During these loops, Maxine makes various pointed comments, including a crude ultimatum, "Either you two suck each other's dicks or get out of my apartment." She also shares her thoughts on artistic creation, stating, "I think there's a lot of merit in copying. I'm interested in art as plagiarism." In loop number 15, just before the planned breakfast meeting with John's daughter, Nadia has an epiphany. She realizes she's constantly on the verge of death and could die at any moment, even at the breakfast table, impaled on a steak knife or drowned in a carafe of cold brew. This leads her to disappoint John by canceling the meeting. During this same loop, Alan has his final showdown with Mike, going so far as to cockblock another woman, playwright Jocelyn Bio. In their confrontation, Mike delivers a revealing confession, "She didn't choose me, Alan. The only choice she made was not you. Nobody chooses me. I'm the hole where a choice should be." As Nadia and Alan continue their separate missions, they begin to understand that each universe continues existing after their deaths, they're simply jumping between different versions of reality. Both of their missions ultimately prove futile. The episode concludes with both of them dying together when a falling air conditioning unit crushes them, proving that despite their understanding of the universes continuing without them, they still can't get the equation right.
But for now, you and me got bigger fish to fry.
The episode 6 opens with Alan and Nadia talking about whether they are in hell or if they are actually the same person. At Alan's apartment, Nadia finds a video game she created earlier in her career. When Alan says he hated the game because it was too hard, Nadia plays it herself. She asks Alan how he died the first time, but he can't remember, while Nadia can remember her own death. They go to see Ruth, a therapist, though Alan is reluctant because he's worried about being seen as crazy. Ruth tells Alan about Nadia's mother, who broke all the mirrors in her house because she believed reflections proved existence. After leaving Ruth's office, they discover they both have bee allergies. While in the subway station, people run from a swarm of bees, causing Alan and Nadia to die. Nadia then decides they should go through Alan's final night to discover how he died. They visit Beatrice, and Nadia confronts her.
Alan? Who's this?
They then go to the bar where Alan got drunk that night. Nadia tells Alan she slept with Mike on her first night. They return to Nadia's apartment and have sex, with Alan pretending to be Mike. After Alan falls asleep, Nadia takes his shoes and leaves. She finds Horse and gives him both the shoes and her Krugerrand, which was one of 150 gold coins her Holocaust surviving grandparents had invested in. She takes Horse to the bodega where she remembers seeing Alan on her first night. When Nadia returns home, she finds Alan has cleaned her apartment and put up old pictures of her and her mother that she had kept under her bed. This makes her angry and she kicks him out. Later, while at Ruth's place, Nadia dies by choking on chicken. In the next loop, Nadia wakes up in Maxine's bathroom and notices the mirror that's usually there is gone. Maxine tells her there was never a mirror there. Nadia rushes to Alan's apartment, apologizes for throwing him out, and tells him she doesn't want to go through this alone. Alan then reveals he finally remembers how he died the first time. He committed suicide by jumping off a building. Episode 7 opens in 1991, showing young Nadia waiting for her mother Lenora, who arrives with multiple watermelons from different stores. The scene shifts to the present, where Nadia and Alan discuss their deaths.
If I hadn't gotten so drunk, I could have stopped you from getting hit by that car.
While Nadia's first death was by car accident, Alan reveals his was by suicide. Nadia shares her theory that she had seen Alan on the night of her first death, suggesting they could have saved each other. Alan could have prevented her car accident, and she could have stopped his suicide. She believes this could be their way out of the time loops, comparing their situation to finding a bug in computer code that needs fixing. As they walk discussing their plan to fix things, Nadia sees her child self and has a heart attack. She wakes up in Maxine's bathroom, which no longer has a mirror. The party scene has changed dramatically, with only one unfamiliar person at the door instead of the usual crowd. Worried about her friends Maxine and Lizzie disappearing into the changing timeline, Nadia makes them leave with her through the fire escape. Outside, young Nadia appears again, causing present Nadia to die instantly. In 1991, we see Lenora's deteriorating mental state as she drives from store to store buying more watermelons, concerning a deli clerk who worries about young Nadia's welfare. This sends Lenora into an emotional spiral. We also see Dr. Ruth Brenner caring for young Nadia during this difficult period.
You can't live on watermelons, sweetheart.
The group tries again to reach the deli, successfully avoiding the young girl this time. However, when they arrive, young Nadia appears at the back of the store with a bloody mouth, causing both Alan and Nadia to die from internal injuries. Each time they return, more things have disappeared from their reality. Nadia's birthday party apartment becomes empty of furniture and objects, with only Maxine dancing alone in the void.
I gotta fix this.
She meets Alan in his similarly empty apartment and tells him about seeing her younger self. She believes she did something terrible that year and needs to fix it. Alan suggests they both need to make peace with their past mistakes rather than trying to fix them. Despite Nadia's pleas for him to stay, he leaves to reconcile with his ex-girlfriend Beatrice. When he meets her, she shows genuine concern for him, allowing Alan to finally open up about his deep unhappiness in their relationship. Meanwhile, Nadia visits present-day Dr. Ruth Brenner. She confesses her guilt about choosing to live with Ruth instead of her mother, believing this decision contributed to her mother's death at age 36, the same age Nadia is now. Ruth describes Nadia as a seed that chose to live and suggests she's now actively chasing death. During their conversation, a gas leak occurs, causing the scene to shift between 1991, showing Ruth and Lenora arguing over young Nadia, and the present. Nadia remembers finding comfort in reading Emily of New Moon during her Guardians fights and retrieves her old copy from Ruth's place. Alan encounters Beatrice's new boyfriend Mike.
He's all right.
Hi. Hi.
Who appears with his child, causing Alan's nose to bleed and forcing him to leave. Nadia attempts to give her ex-boyfriend's daughter the Emily of New Moon book at a restaurant, but dies horrifically, pulling a mirror shard from her bloody mouth. The boyfriend's daughter transforms into young Nadia, who tells the dying adult Nadia that she is still inside her. Young Nadia asks if she's ready to let her die, suggesting this is the day they can finally break free from their loops. Throughout these increasingly rapid time loops, reality continues to unravel around them. Objects vanish, mirrors disappear, and encounters with children, particularly young Nadia, trigger violent deaths. The time loops accelerate as their universe seems to be collapsing, forcing both characters to confront the deep-seated trauma and choices that may have trapped them in this cycle. The last episode of Season 1 opens showing both Nadia and Alan in their respective bathrooms, with a fly mysteriously moving between the two spaces. Outside Nadia's bathroom, a large crowd waits at her birthday party. She greets everyone joyfully, particularly Maxine, though Maxine is upset that Nadia plans to leave the party she organized. This timeline shows all the people and furniture that had previously disappeared are now back. In Alan's apartment, everything has returned to normal, including his engagement ring and fish.
I gotta go find Nadia.
While Nadia tries repeatedly to enter Alan's building but can't get in, Alan encounters a woman he hadn't noticed before. They realize they're experiencing each other's original timelines, they've switched places. While Alan goes to Nadia's party, she stays outside talking with Joe. This switch means they each must try to save the other person's past self. Alan meets Lizzie and Jordana at the party, having a conversation about raising children and getting a red scarf in the process. Meanwhile, Nadia finds her missing cat Oatmeal with Horse, the homeless man, and after discussing the nature of ownership, takes the cat with her. Alan visits the deli where Farron works and talks about knowing Nadia, while the Wall Street guys look for nitrous oxide. When Alan checks the basement for Oatmeal's food, he finds Nadia with the cat, but also Mike. They realize they're trapped in separate timelines, unable to directly help each other. Alan tries desperately to warn this timeline's Nadia about her impending death, sharing information about Mike's affairs with multiple graduate students. Nadia and Mike leave the deli without buying condoms, ignoring Alan's warnings.
Oh my god, you are seriously a fucking dick.
In her timeline, Nadia deals with a very drunk Alan, protecting him from the Wall Street guys before Farron kicks them out of the deli. She follows Alan to ensure his safety, just as he follows her past self. Alan follows Mike and Nadia, attempting to prevent her death by warning her about the car accident. When this fails, he takes a photo of Mike and Nadia together and messages Beatrice to call Mike immediately. Meanwhile, in her timeline, Nadia follows the drunk Alan to a diner, trying to get his attention by mimicking his actions with a spoon, but fails to break through his drunken haze. Alan returns to the deli for Nadia's number but remembers it himself. Farron calls Nadia while she's with Mike, mentioning she owes Alan money for the Kruger rant. Nadia leaves Mike, who receives numerous angry messages from Beatrice. In the other timeline, Nadia watches as Alan gives his money and wallet to Horse and his friends, who put something on his head. Alan tries multiple ways to convince the drunk Nadia about their situation, finally suggesting they look for Oatmeal in the park to get her attention. In her timeline, Nadia supervises the drunk Alan, who seems peaceful while eating chocolate cake.
I feel terrific.
She tells him a story about a broken man and a woman with a death wish, trying to keep him safe. Both realize they must keep each other alive through the night in their respective timelines. Alan struggles with an uncooperative Nadia but finally manages to save her from the fatal cab accident. However, in Nadia's timeline, Alan heads to the roof as police cars approach with sirens blaring. She follows him up, and when he asks if he'll be happy if he doesn't jump, she can't promise happiness but promises he won't be alone.
I'm so fucking happy that you did not jump.
Finally, both timelines merge in a crucial moment. Nadia turns away from Mike to follow Alan, while in the other timeline, they successfully prevent each other's deaths. They pass each other on the street, now safe because they've helped each other survive. The episode ends with both of them having broken their death cycles by saving each other, showing that sometimes the only way to save yourself is to save someone else. Throughout the episode, objects and people that had previously vanished have returned, suggesting the timeline is healing. The chocolate cake that was previously white, the missing mirrors, and other changed details indicate they've finally found the correct path to break their loop. Their success comes not from trying to fix their own problems, but from helping each other through their darkest moments. That's it for this recap. If you enjoyed it and want me to cover Season 2 of Russian Doll, let me know by commenting Part 2 below. And hey, if you're into stories like this, check out my other videos, you'll find some real gems there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.